really not done. So like to be honest, what really happened is we were like, we're going to show the movie, and the studio was like, no, you're going to show 20 minutes. So we're like, no, we're going to show the movie. And they're like, it's not done. And I was like, sure. They're like, if everything's not perfect and it's not done, and what if we're going to change things? I was like,
oh, we want it to go
I literally brought the movie with me on the airplane. I have like a folder, like a disc, like a hard drive.
My face being so flush with blood and heat, thinking about this impending disaster that was about to happen. And also really kind of rooting and sitting in that rebellion of the moment too. Like I'm doing something for me. I'm standing up to.
She fabricated a situation. Now, sometimes I think maybe another intern might have spoken to her somewhere else. I don't know why I was specifically identified. To this day, I don't. But I don't know. It was weird. And then later on, other people who are below the line were targeted by her as well. So there seems to be she picks on or doesn't like people below her. But all I can say is that was my experience with her. I went on to work with other movie stars, directors, other people in the industry, and no one's ever accused me of treating someone like a fan. Also,
It's somehow, I have no idea how we've managed to keep it secret, given the internet and all this stuff, because it hasn't come out. I would say that they're more surprises because they have beginnings, middles, and ends. They're not like, it's not just like a, hey.
And really important and whatnot. Blake Lively, if she was sexually harassed to such a degree in this film and in this situation, she wouldn't have returned to the film. And they had sat down and they had talked about what her complaints were. The unfortunate thing is she actually didn't read the book and didn't understand what the book was about.
Welcome back to Tea Time with Tina. Now listen up, folks. Hollywood is legendary for its scandals, but the saga surrounding It Ends With Us takes the cake, and possibly the entire pastry shop. Justin Baldoni, the film's dedicated director, has found himself at odds with Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds in a legal face-off that's equal parts Shakespearean drama and blockbuster thriller. What began as a straightforward adaptation of Colleen Hoover's much-loved novel spiraled into a multi-layered clash involving massive lawsuits, marketing disasters, and allegations serious enough to give any PR agent a migraine.
Was there a coordinated smear campaign to bring down Blake Lively?
100% no.
Lively has filed a civil rights complaint and a lawsuit against her co-star, who also directed the film, where she claims that in retaliation for raising concerns, Baldoni and his team launched an online social manipulation campaign to destroy Lively's reputation. The New York Times published the first story about Lively's allegations. Now Baldoni and 9 other plaintiffs, including Baldoni's PR firm, are suing the paper for libel and say they plan to take further legal action.
Do you plan to sue Blake Lively?
Absolutely.
You will?
Yes.
In the filing, Baldoni's lawyers contend text messages were taken out of context or excluded, including one appearing to show Lively inviting Baldoni into her trailer while pumping, which they say refutes Lively's claim that Baldoni would enter her trailer uninvited while she was undressed, including when she was breastfeeding.
We plan to release every single text messages between the two of them. We want the truth to be out there. We want the documents to be out there. We want people to make their determination based on receipts.
So how did this passion project turn into a courtroom showdown? Let's dive in and see just how far off script this production went. But first, don't forget to like and subscribe because let's face it, I'm nothing without your support. Now back to the tea. Sources say friction appeared when Lively began taking a more hands-on role than anyone anticipated. While executive producer can mean varied levels of involvement, Baldoni claims that Lively soon overstepped, transforming the collaboration into a tug-of-war over creative vision.
Ryan and Blake was dropping hit piece after hit piece on Justin, and that Blake had spent the entire prior year trying to wrest control of this movie away from Justin Baldoni. It was his film. He was the director. He's the producer. He's the one who found the book and got the idea for it. And she was such a brat that she wanted to control every scene, wanted to see all the dailies, wanted to do her own cut and did her own cut of the movie. All this is very unusual for just an actress in the film, even if she's the lead, and that she's now tried to turn this whole thing into a PR victory for her.
Things got heated enough for Lively to sue Baldoni for $250 million, accusing him of mismanagement and poor decision-making. Not one to sit back, Baldoni fired back with a $400 million countersuit. That's a lot of zeros even in Tinseltown, and it signaled that this wouldn't be just another Hollywood spat swept under the red carpet. In Baldoni's version of events, Lively's role quickly stretched beyond its original boundaries. She allegedly took it upon herself to rewrite major scenes, demanding changes that strayed from the original script and even vetoing studio-approved costume designs.
I knew that that wasn't fulfilling for me, that I wanted to be a part of the storytelling, that I wanted to be a part of the narrative, whether that be in the writing, in the costume design, in creating the character. And sometimes I had directors or producers or writers who would welcome that and invite that once they saw that I was able to offer that.
Imagine spending months on a meticulously researched costume palette, only to watch it get tossed aside in a single email. Worse, she supposedly brought in her own stylist and replaced key team members, including the composer and editor, with individuals she trusted.
Stylist, I'm the costume designer on Gossip Girl. But anyone who works with me, I love it. It's like drinking through a fire hose. You're like, wow, I come in and I'm like, this is what we're gonna do. But it's just because I really I find that fashion is storytelling. It's a way to message so much more than you can with words sometimes. It's a silent way to message things. So the way that I come into a character is always through the fashion and through the costumes. So
in another interview, you said that Ryan, actually, your husband Ryan Reynolds, wrote part of that rooftop scene. Is that true?
Yeah, that's, I mean, I would have to compare it to the original one, but that's 99% his. Yeah, he just added, I mean, Chrissy Hall wrote an incredible screenplay. It was, one of the reasons that I wanted to do this film. But also, there are natural tweaks and modifications that come in when the actor is hired and you're trying to infuse your own personality and your own authenticity. And it's like, women are people of multitudes. And, I think that it was important to me that it didn't just feel like someone's interpretation of female gaze. Like it really was, this is what we like, this is what we listen to, this is what makes us feel these vibes. And we had an incredible music supervisor, Season Kent, and one of our editors, Shane Reed, who, fun fact, he was my editor on Taylor's music video that I directed. And I was obsessed with him. And I was like, this guy is amazing. And he never edited a movie before. He just finished Deadpool and Wolverine, and he came on and helped us with this one. And he has incredible taste in music. And we share the same composer as well from Deadpool and Wolverine. So there's a lot of sharing.
One new hire had only worked on a Taylor Swift music video, which isn't necessarily a disqualifier, but it raised eyebrows among industry professionals who expected more robust film credentials. Then came the Unauthorized unveiling. Lively reportedly showed a rough cut of the film at Colleen Hoover's book Bonanza, igniting the studio's worst nightmares about leaks, contract breaches, and marketing confusion. If nothing else, it proved how serious the power struggle had become. Who was truly steering the ship, the director or the star? If you've ever read It Ends With Us, you know it's a gripping, sometimes harrowing look at domestic abuse, relationships, and resilience. Not exactly a warm and fuzzy romance. Yet fans were shocked to see promotional materials framing it like a playful love story. Lively's public appearances only fueled the confusion. Rather than delving into the emotional complexity of the novel, she often talked up her personal brand, dropping references to her hair care line, an alcohol brand, and her latest fashion statements.
And so when this dress was available, I was like, yes, I need it. And I've had it, for almost a year now, and I've been saving it for this 6 months. But yeah.
No, what an incredible summer you're having. I feel like you poured a lot into this movie, but then you turned around and you were just as supportive of Ryan. Yeah. What is it like to...
And my hair care company, Blake Brown, my goodness gracious. It's been crazy. It's been a crazy week. I haven't slept in a lot of time.
Cue the backlash. Instead of addressing the uproar from fans who felt misled, Lively seemed to double down on her own marketing angles. Critics argued that trivializing a story about abuse to push lifestyle products was tone-deaf at best and manipulative at worst. This PR fiasco quickly escalated into one of the core reasons for the lawsuits, as both the studio and Baldoni claimed Lively's approach hurt the film's credibility and potential box office earnings. While many in the media initially pinned the blame on Baldoni, suggesting he was the disorganized director who lost control, he's adamant there's more to the story. In fact, he says Lively orchestrated a full-blown smear campaign to paint him as the project's weak link. He claims he lost his agent, his popular podcast, and several future projects because of Lively's behind-the-scenes maneuvering, which allegedly included enlisting major publications to run critical pieces about him. Baldoni insists he has the receipts, literal screenshots, emails, and other documents that prove it wasn't his mismanagement but rather Lively's overreach and eventual scapegoating that tanked the adaptation's reputation. His countersuit soared to $400 million, partly to recover financial losses, but also to restore his credibility in an industry where reputation can be more crucial than box office figures. If his claims are accurate, it's a classic case of a star overshadowing a director, and then rewriting the narrative to fit her agenda. Legal proceedings in Hollywood can be as chaotic as any big-budget film production, and this is no exception. Blake Lively sought a gag order against Baldoni's attorney, Brian Friedman, which the judge denied, meaning Friedman can speak freely and release information that might bolster Baldoni's case.
Basically, we do see gag orders in cases, typically in criminal cases, because stakes are so much higher, and that's to protect the criminal defendant, because under the Sixth Amendment in the United States, the defendant has a right to a fair trial, and the prosecution's release of information about the allegations in the criminal complaint can, taint a jury pool. So we will see criminal case protective measures. We'll also see them sometimes in very, very sensitive civil cases. I don't see that here, particularly since she is the one who has gone out there so publicly herself. And so if this was such a sensitive matter that even, she would have done a Jane Doe, she would have never released her text messages.
That's the last thing Lively's team wanted, especially with rumors swirling about what damning evidence could exist in Baldoni's cache. On top of that, the judge granted Friedman the green light to depose Lively, compelling her to answer questions under oath. In a conflict this high stakes, depositions can unearth hidden details or contradictions that shift public sympathy. Baldoni's team also launched a website purporting to show texts, emails, and video snippets revealing how Lively and possibly others worked to frame him. Whether or not you take these claims at face value, the looming possibility of new evidence has fans and insiders alike keeping a close eye on every update. The story takes a darker turn with allegations that Lively actively tried to remove Baldoni's name from his own movie's promotions, almost as if she wanted to erase him from the project altogether. Adding to the intrigue, Ryan Reynolds, a comedic mainstay in Hollywood, allegedly teamed up with Lively to pressure Baldoni into making a public apology. The plan, according to Baldoni, was to make him the scapegoat for the PR meltdown. If you're a fan of either Lively or Reynolds, this might sound like a bad fan fiction. But for Baldoni, it was all too real, costing him not just professional opportunities, but also his public image. There's an uncomfortable irony in the notion that two of Hollywood's most beloved personalities could be orchestrating a behind-the-scenes scheme worthy of its own movie script. The fallout may be seismic, both for Lively Reynolds and for Baldoni. While Lively and Reynolds have long enjoyed near-universal adoration, this case might challenge their squeaky-clean public personas if Baldoni's evidence proves them complicit in foul play. Already, some fans have expressed skepticism toward Lively's handling of the film's sensitive themes and the questionable marketing choices. Meanwhile, Baldoni is pushing for an expedited trial, aiming to get the legal showdown on the docket before March 2026. That's almost light speed in judicial terms, but for Baldoni, vindication can't come soon enough. In Hollywood, perception can change overnight, and the longer a scandal drags on, the harder it is to restore one's reputation. Insiders whisper that if Lively and Reynolds can't shake these allegations, the resulting stain could jeopardize their future roles, endorsements, and brand partnerships. Audiences are famously fickle. A scandal of this magnitude might test even the most loyal fans, especially if the legal discoveries paint a picture of manipulation and misrepresentation. All eyes are on the "It Ends With Us" controversy to see who emerges victorious, or at least who escapes relatively unscathed. Is Blake Lively on the brink of career disaster? Will Ryan Reynolds' good-humored persona take a hit he can't joke his way out of? And does Justin Baldoni have the proof he needs to clear his name and reclaim his spot in the director's chair? The spectacle offers a sobering reminder that beneath Hollywood's veneer of glamour and polished PR lurk power struggles capable of derailing not just a film, but entire careers. In this case, we have lawsuits in the hundreds of millions, star-studded drama, and a narrative that's overshadowing the actual content of the movie. As it stands, we're left with questions bigger than any silver screen climax. How will the courts respond to Baldoni's evidence? Can Lively and Reynolds salvage their reputations, or is this the first real dent in their seemingly invincible Hollywood armor? Only time and a lot of legal filings will tell. So grab your popcorn, or maybe a stress ball, and keep an eye on the headlines. If this showdown continues on its current trajectory, It Ends With Us may wind up less remembered for its storyline about domestic abuse and more for the all-out war it ignited between a passionate director and one of Hollywood's most famous couples. And who knows, by the time the final verdict is handed down, we might need a sequel just to unravel the fallout. Where do you stand on the blame game? Is this a power grab by Lively and Reynolds, or an unfair portrayal of them as villainous masterminds? Feel free to share your thoughts, because until the verdict's in, speculation is half the fun. And with a court date possibly looming sooner than anticipated, we might find out the truth faster than Hollywood can greenlight another sequel. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and smash the notification bell to stay updated on your favorite celeb tea. Until next time, stay tuned, stay safe, and stay informed. Only on Tea Time with Tina.